Hello. Welcome back to another amazing Red Jacks on podcast. Today, we're all kind of hosting, but I'm going to introduce you. My name is Charlie.
I am Rick.
It's Fraser.
And it's your boy, Serhan. Your boy.
So, you've clicked on the link. You know what you're in for. Attack on Titan. Here we fucking go.
Finally.
Oh,
I am trying
who's
my
tough
best to...
Oh, sorry, Sam. What are you saying?
No, I'm just trying my best to get the photo up. Still, I'm like, I will do this. I do
the Rummy collection keeps coming up.
Rummy?
Yeah, the Rummy one. Doesn't matter. Just keep going.
Oh, that's the one you told us about before, isn't it?
No,
sorry, anyway. Yeah.
None of that's... It's all inconsequential.
Guys, I'm so excited to talk about this. This is like... I'm so excited. So, is everyone happy, or is there anything that people are a bit like not on? Like, I know there was a few little moments that you could definitely, red flag and go, what the fuck is that about?
Okay.
Okay. Go on.
All right. Okay.
We're jumping straight into it.
I'm going straight into the heart of this, right? Mate. Because I just watched this yesterday. So this is fresh enough to be fresh, but it gave me a little bit of time to reflect and watch some breakdowns and really, really think about it. I think that as a show, I can understand why people may have really liked it, and I understand why people may have been deterred from it or not 100% with it. Personally, I think...
Are you talking about the show in general or the ending?
No. I'm talking about the show and the ending in general, right? So I'm talking about from a standpoint of just a show, look at it objectively. I can understand why people are a little bit for, a little bit against. I've seen more for, but I can still see why. When I first watched it, I didn't have the feeling of I don't get it. I just had that feeling of what do I actually feel about this? What was I actually expecting from this? Of the black and white of heroes and villains and good and bad and evil and all that. And it did take a bit of a while. And I think watching some breakdowns and watching people's sort of interpretations and explanations a little bit, and I was like, oh, actually, you know what? I actually like this more than what I thought I could have liked it. It wasn't what I expected, but I was like, this has actually kind of made me think more about the big picture of it all and made me think about life and myself more than just like that character done the thing that I really wanted them to do, or this was the really good explanation. It wasn't black or white. It was like somewhere in the middle. It was a little bit of like column A and a bit of column B. For me, I personally fucking loved it.
Yeah, no, I am with you on that. It's like each individual motivations, it's not black and white. It's like a big gray area. And there are some things where I'm like, don't really get it. Like, I'm not sure why that's like that, but all in all, like start to finish, that whole final episode just kind of had me on the edge. And I liked it overall. Like, I hadn't, because there was the whole controversy about it, like when the manga finished, and I stayed away from all that because I just wanted to watch it, and just watching that standalone without knowing what people were upset about. It's up there for me. I'm just reading it now. Actually, I'm trying to look at what the controversy is. So I'll get back to you.
I looked up a little bit of the manga controversy because I've done a little bit of research afterwards, and some of the links led me to like manga stuff. And apparently, in the manga, there was lots of bits that weren't expanded on, and lots of bits that were in the anime. So they like changed it in the anime to give it more gravitas. So apparently there was the conversation between Eren and Armin when Eren is talking to him and telling him everything that's going on, and then he like erases everyone's memories of their conversations. He told him that he's going to kill 80% of the world, and in the same sentence Armin basically forgives him in the manga. So in the anime, they gave it a good extra 30, 40 seconds where Armin was like, but why? You can't do that. Why? You know what I mean? And actually fought him a little bit.
Actually gave him
People were gutted with Armin's character because they were like,
emotional response.
They
do you guys like my photo?
Not in the anime.
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
That's sick.
Yeah, boy.
Sorry, Rick, what'd you say?
Wings of freedom.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of split on it. Like I think it was a good ending for like the first 45, 55 minutes, and then the last little portion of it, it kind of just went everything I thought I knew about the show and I understood about Titans and the way they work and everything. It just kind of flipped everything on its head in the last half an hour, just to kind of, I don't know, it felt like it did it just to sort of make it make sense and give it an ending, even though it kind of contradicted a lot of the last 10 years of Attack on Titan. 10 years? It kind of felt a bit
like a
little bit like.
I get why you say that, because honestly, first watch, I think we all probably all had it. Like even Fraser said, like, you know, there were bits where you're like, what? Like you don't quite understand. But then when you watch all the breakdowns and everything, like Serhan said, you get like this flood of like, oh my god, this is so fucking insanely clever. It's so loyal to its own lore. So like, you know, you saying that it's betrayed things that it's done in the last 10 years or whatever. It actually went by everything, but it's so deep that you just don't get it on the first watch. Like it's one of them layered things that like you watch it again and you'll probably be like, oh shit, and watch a breakdown. You'll get it a lot. Like, not saying that you just didn't understand it. We all didn't. I walked away at the end like, that was weird, but good. I don't know. Like I really enjoyed the action, but then there was loads of weird emotional moments. But then the emotional moments actually make sense when you look them up. It's crazy. It's crazy cool.
It was good. Like, I mean, as an overall last episode, I was like, it's good. I didn't walk away feeling, they've ruined Attack on Titan. It wasn't like that. I felt like, okay, they've ended it, but some bits at the end just didn't click with me. Like with the weird,
like what bits?
Like the weird alien spirit organism thing that connects everything, like the original.
It's called hallucigenia, apparently.
Hallucigenia. Yeah, I think it's got a name. It's got an actual name, like Header or something like that. I was watching this breakdown. This guy kept saying its name, and it was like a really weird noise.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
It's like
that whole
sounds
thing.
like Eren, but it's not.
Was it Header?
It's like weird like that, yeah.
Hallucigenia, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I feel like that was kind of just like what happened to that at the end? It was fighting Reiner for like it was wrestling with Reiner, and then it just kind of disappeared. It didn't really explain it. They kind of covered a lot of the backstory. Like you got to see the Eren's goodbye with Mikasa and Armin, but after that, it just kind of disappeared. Like they didn't really mention it again. It was just gone.
That's literally one of the points that has come up here, and they're talking about manga as well. Anyway, but from my understanding, I think that from when they've killed both Eren and Zeke, and Ymir is happy to move on, then it possibly would have gone away. But again, it just kind of like off screen disappeared. Didn't dissolve or die and shrivel up or anything like that. We don't really know.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That is a really good point.
I didn't notice that in between. I'm actually rolling the episode as we're talking. So when we talk about a moment, I'm trying to like go back to what it's presenting, and it's true. It doesn't actually really give you like a
visual.
Okay, even I thought they might have covered it in the manga or something at some point, because it weren't in the anime. It just sort of disappeared, and that was it.
Does it only
for it to come back?
It only bonds with Eldians, though, doesn't it? Is that a law for that thing? Because it seemed like obviously it affected all Eldians, or maybe it just affected her, and then she then had loads of babies, didn't she? So they made Eldian race through that one breeder. Ymir.
I think it's a case of like, if you were to call it a bloodline or a cultural connection or something, like it connected with her and everything on her side of the wall, on her side of like, I don't know, of connections. Like that's why the paths and everything connected. Maybe if it was a Marlian that would have ran in there and tripped and connected with that thing, it would have. So it's not like it's an Eldian trait. It just happened to connect to her, and anything can join to her, whether it is
only Eldians can become Titans.
I think only because she was an Eldian.
Only because she, because she was the Eldian blood. Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah, unless maybe because it was so attached to Ymir, maybe when the whole thing with Mikasa happened, and Ymir kind of like forgave herself and like, you know, what was it? Stopped loving King Fritz or whatever and kind of walked away. Maybe it died in that. Because I think it implies at the end that Eren still has that parasite in him. because when that whole montage and the guy walks into the tree, it kind of insinuates that the cycle's going to start again. So I imagine that creature's in there.
That's kind of what I thought as well, because that's the same thing that Ymir did, right? Like
she walked into a tree and
or cave and got,
like George of the Jungle, just like, no, watch out for that tree.
Oh man,
it was weird. Like I thought that maybe people had gripes with it. I haven't got to it yet, but I thought people might have had gripes with Eren's kind of excuse for doing what he did, for going along with the whole plan.
Also kind of threw me off a little bit. It was like, okay, you spent how long just being a dick and be like, I'm gonna kill the world, and in the last little bit, like, I'm just doing it so you guys can be the heroes, I'm not actually, I don't really want to do this. And I was like, you just completely changed his whole theme so quick. Why?
And the way he was kind of like
into a million pieces, wasn't he? Like he was even remembering things before his own lifetime. So I guess he wasn't even
Yeah, I can see
Charlie?
that.
Oh, is Charlie froze? Charlie's frozen?
Oh my god!
Please don't leave me by.
Oh my god! Screenshot it
now. Die.
I thought everyone else continued to talk. Charlie was frozen. I was like, "Am I out of the loop? Everyone's continuing."
Did I freeze? Sorry.
Yeah, you froze.
Yeah, you froze.
What did you?
Did you still hear me, or did I cut out?
No. Completely stopped. You look like Attack on Titan. You're like,
you froze, and then you came back, and the only thing we heard when you came back was, "Now everyone must die."
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, that's dramatic.
Brilliant. Keep it in. Fucking hell. Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
I said so much.
We were talking about, like you said, like mentioned. The last thing you mentioned was like Eren
wasn't really
up into like a million pieces.
Yeah, and so like it was kind of like having lots of split personalities, and like I feel like the one where he came in and he was really pathetic was actually Eren. That's like actual Eren that we knew from all these seasons, and he's just breaking down. But then all these other personalities just keep jumping in to make different decisions in his path.
Yeah,
because like there was a flashback, I think in like season 3, when I think it was Grisha and someone else, another Jaeger, and they're sat up and they're having a conversation, and all of a sudden one of them says like, I hope Armin and Thingy are okay, and it's like, I don't even know why I said that, and it's because all these fucking lives, their brains are all just connected all at once.
Yeah.
So he's not really in there. Like I think that's the excuse for it. I think maybe we lost a bit of it in translation because I think you could hear the pain and stuff.
The Attack Titan connects them throughout their lifetimes. And obviously when he was connecting to the founding Titan and he was like, he made contact with Historia or Zeke, it allowed him to access the founding Titan's powers and all that. So that's like that. That's the kind of connection. And there's just so much to unpack.
Yeah.
firstly, the breakdown moment in the anime where he's breaking down is like, I don't want Mikasa to leave me. I don't want her to love someone else. I want her to mourn me. I don't want to die without you guys and all this jazz. That wasn't in the manga. A lot of the manga people did not like that because obviously it wasn't there. It gave Eren, like kind of Rickish said, like more of that one dimension of this is what you've shown us thus far, so this is what he really is. Whereas that breakdown, I preferred it. Maybe if I would have read the manga and then seen it, I'd have been like, that's weird. But I preferred that multi-dimension. Like Charlie said, the explanation was like, obviously the main creator, I think is Isayamata or something. The main creator of Attack on Titan was like, this is the real Eren, as Charlie said. Like, this is what he's actually going through.
Yeah.
And apparently, I don't remember where this was touched upon, but there's so much info in this show that if Eren knew as part of seeing his future of if he didn't do the rumbling, that the Marlians were going to come to Paradis and start their own
war,
like genocide and war. Like they were going to take them out anyway. So Eren was like in a position of, well, I'm trying to go against this future and past thing that I can see. It's happening regardless of whatever I do. I'm in the past. I'm seeing 2,000 years worth of stuff. I'm the person that basically triggered my own life experience because I sent the Titan to kill my own mum.
That is a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, which is fucking my own head up.
Yeah, so, because he had to save Berthold, didn't it? So I just while you've just mentioned that moment is so fucking sick when he's like, I even sent the Titan that killed my mum Like, what the fuck, Eren? He's like, yeah, because you remember that moment where that Titan walked past Berthold, and you were like, why did it do that? Because Eren fucking told it to. That's mad, and sent it to go and trigger the whole thing. Yeah, sorry, carry on, Serhan. I just wanted to point out that.
No. I'm just saying, like, what a head fuck that would be. Forget memories and lives. You are like both the victim and the catalyst of everything that's happening in your life, because you're kind of ascending to some like godly level in a sense, and you are fucking up your own life. Even like the whole like even his whole dad's thing in the last part of season 4, the part 1, where he's like whispering to his dad, like, you have to now go and fuck the royal family. Like, Eren has been with enough behind all of this, and he's feel like he can't stop that bit, so it's kind of understandable for it to be a head fuck. I understand watching it just as a show, it does feel on the surface a bit, not a cop out, but a bit like, okay, you're kind of avoiding this black and whiteness. But when I did watch the breakdown and have an appreciation, I understood it more. It doesn't mean it made it better. My opinion was I enjoyed it more, but I understood it more. With the understanding, I was like, cool, okay, there's a real big humanity to this, and I need to kind of consider, rather than just a character, I had to look at him as a person. I'm like, your head is fucked.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the thing, because the final season, it started, that final episode, it started with so much action, and it was throwing all this action at you. I think when it got real again, like, because, no one died as well. So, like, all this action's happening, which is, like, way more than they've ever faced before. No one's dying. Everyone's surviving somehow. And then it cuts this really dramatic, it gets to the end, and it's this really, like, intense, dramatic scene that we have seen, and we know Attack on Titan for having that kind of raw emotion from, like, seasons 1 to 3. And then, season 4, we haven't had it as much. We've had, like, big moments, but, like, a lot of it's been action. And I think it was, like, a bit of a shock to the system for Eren to be, just kind of being the one to go. It was like, what? Wait, this guy of all people?
As well as, like, during the fight as well, like, he's just like a silent villain. Like, he's just that part of the rumbling. Like, in all the other bits of action we've seen across the whole anime where Eren's been the attack titan and he's gotten into fights, and we're looking forward to watching him fight Rhino or something like that. In this, he's just kind of like, he's just pasted as he's the enemy, and this ragtag group's got to stop him, and then we finally get to see him talk at the end. But I thought that was kind of a letdown. I thought that kind of made Eren a bit too one-dimensional up until that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, imagine if, like, once Eren and Armin showed down in their, like, colossal forms, if there was a bit more interaction there in the fight.
Yeah.
I think that would have brought it back a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, because I think they, Eren was built up, like you said, when he was, like, predominantly the good guy. There was a lot of character and a lot of journey for him. And when he was kind of leading up to being the bad guy, and if you remember when the last sort of part of the season ended, or the last section of this season, when it ends, it is like, kill everything. The rumbling and the animation changes, like a still photo. Like, you were like, oh, this is the big bad guy. Like, this has got so much weight behind him. And then he just went to some, like you said, like a neutral state. And I think to a certain extent it made sense, but it also was a little bit underwhelming. Like, it made sense because it showed him looking at the people, and you think, oh my god, he has sympathy, maybe he's a human, maybe he's good. Or if it showed him angry, you're going to go, oh, he is the big bad guy. But he kind of left it neutral. And then at the end, the last half an hour, it just threw so much personality. It's like, well, where the fuck have you been? You haven't screamed, shouted, cried, laughed, or looked. And we've been more focused on the heroes of the action of this moment of the story, rather than, well, Eren is the big question. So it does try to answer it, but it is a 360, 100%. It is just like 0 to I know
100 to 0.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally been like 0 to 100, back to 0, and then 100 again. You're like, bro, just choose a fucking page. But
it was very, very strange dynamic twists at the very, like, last half hour, or however long the episode was. It was very strange to see that whole side of him, to be like, oh yeah, it was just a joke. I'm not a joke, but I did it for you guys. I didn't want him to mess with you guys. I wanted you all to die peacefully in your times, knowing that everything that he's gonna do, it's going to start up again, which it does. You get the end scene, we get that big tree and the one at the end, which insinuates, the cycle is gonna start again. So in a way, it was kind of like the whole rumbling was not really even necessary in a sense, knowing that it's gonna kick up again. Which is maybe because I need to watch a breakdown, but in my head I watched it the first time and it's a bit like things aren't adding up the way I would like them to add up.
Yeah, maybe I think you need to. I think the best way to look at it is it's not try and take away the anime side of it, because it could have easily have had the whole Naruto, villain monologuing to Naruto in this headspace while they're like, engaged in some kind of punch or something.
Yeah.
They could have, but Attack on Titan has been so like, no, this is reality. This is their reality. There's none of this silly anime stuff. It's reality. This is it.
Yeah.
And I think you imagine it from Eren's point of view as a real person, not as an anime character. And then you start to think, he's just a kid and he just wants to save his friends. He's now learned about, that's it. But I mean, he's been driven since he was a kid with this goal, to just save everyone. He's now got the power to literally go, well, look, I know how it's going to go if I don't do it. We're all going to die. Like, they're going to attack Paradise and we're all going to lose that fight because the whole world is going to kill them. Or I can kill them all. And he has these moments where he like literally meets people and starts crying. He's like, I'm so sorry for what I'm going to do. But like, it is the best option for a kid in that mindset to save his friends. It's not someone logically thinking, but there's lots of people with lots of friends out there that you're going to kill. Like, he's going, no, these are my friends. No. And when Sasha died, he bawled he went mental because he was like, I couldn't save her. Like, there was nothing he could do. And that would like drove him even more to become the asshole to go, I've got to kill the rest of the world to keep you all safe. Yeah. Like, it's deep, man. It's just anime flex kind of does throw you off the reality of it.
I do like that side of it. Like, I thought people might have issue with, that point where he's talking to Armin and he says, oh, well, I'm just an idiot who was given like unbelievable power. I thought people might find issue, but I don't think I've seen that. And I think that's a good thing, because it would be so easy to do the whole like Naruto thing, like you're saying, he's a descendant, he's a reincarnation of something, or he's supposed to have this kind of power, but actually he was just sort of, it's more his father, but like wrong place, wrong time kind of deal, and it just happened to be him, and he had to deal with it. I like that side of it, and it kind of makes.
I think that's with everyone though. Like, when you look at Ymir's story and her thing of the big, on one side of the elders of she's the god, and the other side she's a devil and demon. Really, she was just a slave with a little bit of like Stockholm syndrome that just tripped into this being completely by accident. She wasn't special because by getting chosen. She was just a scared person that tripped into it. And again, one of the breakdowns I was watching was that entity that connects to her, and it made her into that sort of terrifying sort of titan. It's not necessarily that this entity will connect you and make you that. It's whatever's kind of deep inside of you. And it's saying that if she had a lot of fear and pain and terror, and like she was a slave and a broken like upbringing and trauma, it made her something that's going to protect her from all of those things. So even at the end where it shows that kid going back into that hole, and like it kind of hints towards this cycle starting again. Some of the breakdowns I watched, they were like, no, this does not mean Titans are coming back. It means needs to reflect what this person is going through and what it could possibly turn him into. So it's not necessarily saying Titans. It just could mean something else. Could be worse. It could be better. But I know I'm jumping the gun a bit, but
makes sense.
I think we all know that what Charlie was connecting to, the whole humanity thing. We all know that from season 1, literally like episode 1, where Hanji turns and it's like that anime moment of, I'm going to fuck these guys up. I'm going to save Eren, Mikasa, and the mom. And he turns and is like, no. And just turns and grabs the kids. And that was the most human moment ever that we all got. We're not watching our heroes. We're watching us in that scenario. And that's the whole, that's the basis of the whole show, man.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to convince you, Rick, bro. Stick with it.
No. I mean, you're not convincing me. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. What seeing it from their point of view, rather than my point of view, watching an anime, it's different. I get that.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
I don't know. For me, it still just felt a little bit like things didn't really connect. Not every missing bit of information that we were like, well, how does this work? How does that work? And not everything linked the way I thought it was gonna link. It didn't tie in the story at the end the way I wanted it to. But I've only watched it the one time, so maybe I need to watch it again. But it's
shit.
Yeah.
Me, Fraser, and Serhan are just sitting here like, yeah, you're wrong, but yeah, no, I appreciate your opinion.
No. Can we talk about Falco?
Yeah, man.
Man. Me and Charlie knew that was gonna happen. Me and Charlie knew from our regional breakdowns. We're like, Falcon. Oh,
like,
I think I said it in the last. Yeah, I said it last.
He's a Deus Ex Machina, right? Like, what kind of Titan is that?
Yeah.
What kind of timing is that? Like
prime example. Falco, all of a sudden, I can fly now, and I'm just gonna rescue and solve everything. And now I'm gonna bring Annie along, and it was like, okay, you look sick. It's fucking cool as shit, but what?
Yeah. I do reckon they extended that in the manga. I imagine they would have had a bit more. Because they do mention the whole thing with him taking off from the ship and stuff, and I feel like that would have actually been a whole scene in the manga.
And his flying dream as well. But I think that's
the one time we saw his flying dream.
But that's the fine line that I think people are on the fence with, and what I get Rick with is because in those moments it's like, no, go to anime mode, suspend belief. It's a show. It worked out fine, and then it's like, then other moments like, no, this is real, this is human, and it's like, where do you pick and choose that line? So sometimes for me, Falco coming was not for me like it makes sense. It was just more like anime moment, awesome, I fucking love it. What's next?
They definitely wrote themselves into a corner.
Yeah. You know what? I do appreciate one thing though with that is when they were like, yeah, the ship exploded from his transformation, and we took everyone off the ship. And I was like, that's a nice little realistic touch, because he does transform and he can create a shockwave. Something small and unnecessary. But I was like, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely no other Titan that's ever flown. Because like we saw all the previous Titans on Aaron's back, and none of them were flying. So Falco is an absolute exception over 2,000 years.
It doesn't really explain how they change, because even the Titan that the dummy Titan that kind of swallows Armin in the beginning, he looks like a freaking Greek mythological creature. And it's like that looks like, and then even on Falco, and he's like, oh, that's an oxy something, and Mikasa's like, what is that? Because it doesn't matter.
What even is that? Yeah,
what is even in that? I love that bit when Mikasa's just trying to explain what it is. Like, it's this. She's like, 10 of them look like that. Just tell me what this thing is. So maybe there are evolutions that we just don't really get and aren't explained.
But wasn't Falco supposed to inherit the Jaw Titan or something?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the Jaw Titan.
He was meant to inherit the Card Titan, wasn't he?
No, the Card Titan. Peak is still alive.
Yeah, she's still alive. But Thingy died, didn't he?
I got it.
Jaw Titan. Yeah, Google that. That's a good question. Because how could a Jaw Titan turn into that?
Yeah, that's what threw me. Like,
what was his name? Sorry, what?
Falco.
Falco.
No, well, that's Jaw Falco. Titan. The Jaw Titan was
Jaw Titan.
Poco was
Paco, Pacao or something like that.
No, Porco Galliard.
Porco
Galliard was the original one, and then Falco eats him, and it is the Jaw Titan. So it is the Jaw Titan. Why?
It's just a flying Jaw Titan because his name's Falco, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's it. And he dreamt to fly him once, so.
Okay, hold on.
We're probably going to be cut off soon.
I can fly.
Yeah, we got.
Oh shit! I can.
Yeah.
Should we have an ad break? It's an early one, but I don't imagine this will be a very long episode.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ad break.
Yeah, an ad break.
We'll do an ad break.
Ad break.
Over 100 years ago, humanity was driven to the brink of extinction by titans with an unquenchable hunger for human flesh.
Now you can tame your inner titan at Paradise Bar and Grill, where our menu will have you breaking down walls to get a taste of what we have on offer. Our Attack Titan burger is unmatched when it comes to raw flavor, or maybe you'd like to double up with our Armor Titan burger, boasting an extra burger patty and double cheese to boot. All burgers also come with our unbeatable female Titan fries, also for guys, that are guaranteed to put you in a coma for 4 years. Don't worry, we have some succulent sides to throw at you, such as the Beast Titan barbecue ribs, available in large and small portions, or some Jaw Titan jalapeno bites for you to chomp down on. Be sure to try our new Falco fried chicken wings, now available for a limited time only, and certain to swoop in and save the entire meal. We currently have some major deals going on in our a la carte Titan menu, where we have select discounts on certain items during lunchtime hours. Want a little bit of everything? Try our Warhammer Titan Bucket Meal, which has every single one of our sides in one platter for you to share or demolish yourself. Finally, to celebrate our grand opening, you can customize our Founders Meal, where you can pick any main and any side and get another main and side absolutely free. Not enough for you? Then have a go at our Colossal Titan Challenge, where you can get all the above with a large mango explosion milkshake. If you survive, you eat for free! So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Paradise Bar and Grill to eradicate your hunger and stop the rumbling today.
Welcome back. What a great ad break.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Buy that product. I've made like a load of notes and stuff.
Cool.
Can I just touch on Falco for a second, because that's where we left off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's saying that the transference of Titan powers can result in the acquisition of new abilities, such as hardening through the consumption of spinal fluid. Because of the way he drank spinal fluid, and he took it from the Beast Titan, and the different Titans have got different abilities to adapt. So Falco's unique situation allowed him to inherit the flying ability of a previous Beast Titan holder, because the Beast Titan can take on the appearance and sort of qualities of other animals, including monkeys, birds, crocodiles, elks, bulls, and wolves. So he's saying that the combination of these two facilities is what allowed him to be able to kind of tap into the spinal fluid of Zeke and the Beast.
And Beast Titan is kind of like,
think about a monkey. It's a giant monkey.
Yeah, so we've never seen another Beast Titan, I don't think, have we?
So that animal that swallowed Armin, for example, would be a different class of a Beast Titan. A Beast Titan can take on different traits of animals.
That's why they're tiny.
Yeah, he was tiny, but I'm just saying that it just, that's where where Falco kind of got that cross sort of intersection.
I mean, that's cool that there's logic behind that, because I didn't even think about it. But yeah.
Oh no, I didn't.
He did fly it as a savior at the end. But I don't even think they needed it, really. I think they could have progressed the story without him having that moment where he broke through.
Man, tell them the same thing. Tell them the same thing.
They were in a sticky situation. I mean, like I said before, like nobody died in this fight, but at that point they probably all could have died. So they needed something to fly in.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mikasa was literally flying in at that moment, like when the thingy appears behind her.
Yeah, but
she could have just wrecked. She could have just wrecked.
Yeah, but she had to choose though. There was that point before Falco shows up where that's where the choice kicks in of like, it was like Levi and Connie or Jean and Raina, and she was like that moment of like, who do I save at this point? They're both fucked. Oh.
No, it's such an amazing fight though, such an amazing scene from the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
What a way to jump back in, man. Straight on that plane. They're like, go! They're just all dropping down.
Yeah.
Like, literally wasted no time.
I've got a question for you guys. Who's your MVP?
Mikasa.
Mikasa, you think so?
Okay, wait. Of the entire show? Or
in this battle.
Okay.
In this battle. Who's
Levi.
Levi.
His scenes were so good. I was worried he was going to be shit because he was injured, but they did not hold back. With 2 fingers, he could fucking
Levi is like the embodiment of perseverance. Like it doesn't matter. He will keep going and keep going and keep fucking going. You can always count on Levi.
That moment
regardless.
he sliced Zeke.
Yeah, Zeke's head.
Absolutely.
As soon as he saw him as well.
Zeke's no doubt. Fresh air.
Yeah.
He does
just
keep
set
going.
the bond of thinking. That's what stopped the rumbling, isn't it? The moment he did that, he actually stopped the rumbling.
Because you need a royal bloodline.
He was royal blood.
That power going. Yeah.
Good band.
No, I still love Mikasa. I think Mikasa outwardly did not have maybe as much as what Levi had to go through. Because to me, they were close first and second. But Mikasa, I feel like, had to go through a lot of shit externally, like a lot of them did, but so much internally as well. She had such an internal battle of like, am I fighting to save you or kill you? And I need to save my friends, but to kill you. And I think her journey for me, she's my favorite anime character, hands down. And she has stayed that now. Like,
she's great.
100%. So I will still say for me it will be Mikasa, but Levi is a very, very. I don't think they would have succeeded without Levi.
Yeah, no chance.
Oh yeah. Armin was Armin was a bit of a letdown. I mean, the Titan fight was sick. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, everyone was looking forward to the Colossal versus Eren, especially when he came down in that colossal form. But it wasn't.
I don't think it was that great.
No.
The Titan fight
I
for
watched
me,
a couple of reviews and they were like, "Oh, it was such a good Titan fight." It wasn't really.
It was at least 5 punches.
Yeah, well, it was very short for a Titan fight.
No one even threw a kick. Like, I want to see a Titan foot come up.
There was nothing really cinematic. I think it's probably because it was all like 3D CG, right? It wasn't like Mappa's 2D animation design. And I mean, that's how they've been doing Titans these days anyway. So they didn't really do anything flashy. And again, Eren was in this sort of one-dimensional villain phase. So it was kind of like it was underwhelming really motivation. But
I think it would have been nice if they could have leaned into that one dimension of Eren, of Armin kind of giving voice to that fight of like, why the fuck are you doing this? Why? And then
why are you still
because
going?
like every time there was a good fight, is always the emotional motivation behind it. Like, even when, I don't know, Eren's fighting like Reiner for the first time, it's as much as it's about every punch being thrown, it looks amazing. You're still like, oh my god, this is the guy that broke the wall. This is the guy that got his mum killed, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. And it's like, when there's that context is not there for a show that was so used to it, it was just two big anime things, punch,
duking it out.
And that for me was the least exciting part. Like, it wasn't bad. I just preferred it when the humans are trying to traverse and fight through them. That for me was just that was my goal.
That was insane.
Like, Levi, like, coming down, all the rocks are fucking falling. He's got a broken leg, one blind eye.
Yeah.
Shooting the
do you know they brought back
sphere.
into the thingy's teeth so that Mikasa can get in the mouth? Yeah, that was the animator they brought back for that was the guy who done the chase scene for Levi and the Levi versus the Beast. Yeah, they brought that 100%. Animator back just to do that scene, and you can tell because when you rewatch it, it's fucking sick. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Levi gets the best animation.
And they also brought back the they also brought back the band who done the opening theme songs for the first 3 seasons. See, like Cesario, like all that kind of like them opening themes. They brought that band back to do like the soundtrack for the finale. So that's why like all these big moments had like point. That. Yeah, had the music on point.
Oh,
that was fun.
That makes sense.
I've got a big question, guys, because I think this was like a late night kind of wake me up in the middle of the night. Like, wait, why didn't they just do that? The space where the Titans can go. And they talk, because they did have a kind of anime moment where Eren got to talk to them all, but they did say he erased their memories and stuff. But yeah, the paths, right? So we see that Zeke's in there, and he's got this little moldy thing, and he's playing with it. And next thing you see, it's a full castle and everything. So it's kind of not a reality in there. You can do whatever you want. They're holding a ball, they're holding a leaf, whatever. Why didn't all the Eldians just go and live there forever? and live as Eternals. Ymir was there for 2,000 years. Why didn't she just build a fucking empire? Just live in that place. What? Why do you have to eradicate Eldians? Just go, no, we don't need Titans anymore because we're all just going to be in comas and we'll just be in this little mind space.
It'd be like the Matrix,
it's like
or it'd be like
the Matrix.
The Matrix.
Infinite Tsukuyomi or something like that.
Yeah, but you get everything you want. Like, they're all together. Everyone's okay. You can't transform in there, I don't think.
There's probably some kind of limitation.
2,000 years. That's the only thing. She was there for 2,000 years.
It's a good question, actually. That's a good point.
All alive and dead people are there as well. They did bring some dead people back into that space.
Exactly. Like Berthold and everything was there, which was another big thing. How did they just come back into...
Okay, so when I watched my breakdown of that side of it, so Ymir is the key to all of this. Anything that can be done and has been done has to go through her because she is the founding Titan, right? So when she's hearing the conversation between Zeke and Armin, and Zeke's kind of on the flex of like, what's the fucking point? Like, we're just here to remultiply. We're just like, Matrix, Mr. Smith style, like, we're just a virus upon this earth. Let's just end it all. My euthanasia plan hasn't happened, but actually maybe Eren's got a point. Let's just end it all. And then Armin's like, no, it's the small moments that don't relate to that sense of survival and multiplying that makes a genuine reason to live and life and connection. And Ymir hears this. So she grants the ability to Zeke, even though Armin says Zeke brought them back. It's not. Ymir gave Zeke that ability, just like she gave Eren the ability of the founding Titan and using the rumbling, because she agreed with Eren at that point, and she had a bit of a choice with him, and then she made another free will choice and said, "Right, I agree with you." So I think you are right, Chaz. She could have done that, but for 2,000 years, she was still following the ritual and rule of King Fritz. She was still a slave to him.
That would make sense.
She did not do anything outside of that spectrum.
Because that cycle only broke at the very end once with Mikasa. So that would make sense.
Yeah.
Because if Ymir didn't agree with it, it wasn't King Fritz. If it wasn't to his mission, then maybe it would have been not even considered. Giving them shelter or something, even if that would have solved everything, even if it's not a physical space, and they would all be in comas in Matrix Paths world, maybe it wouldn't have even been a thing for Ymir to consider until that cycle got broken at the end.
I don't think her soul would have stayed on with the soul if the cycle wasn't broken. That makes sense. Like, I'm making sense out of something. Yes. Oh my god.
There was just so many layers to that mind space thing. They really dived into it in the last episode. Every time they cut to it, something new happened, and I was like, "This place is sick. Why don't they just live here?"
I would really suggest
build out
punches Eren, and he feels it. So there's feeling. Like, it's not like you're numb in there or anything. Like, you could probably get in there and bang. I don't know if you could, have babies, but
again,
why not?
Charlie wants to multiply. Charlie wants to multiply. That was a little weird moment that confused me, and it shocked me from it when, and I think I understood it, is when Armin goes through his message, and Eren's like, they've had that convo towards the end of the episode, and Eren's like, listen, I need to kind of wipe your memory. But this is the last memory I actually want to leave with you. And at the end, I'm going to give this memory back to you. And then it just goes right back to the boat, and Armin's there next to Annie. And I'm like, please don't tell me you're about to throw the timeline back to now. Please don't. And then you realize that that's when that message happened. But then it was memory wipe, and then he carries on as normal. But for that split second, I was like, no, don't do this. Don't be back on the boat.
They wondered.
It
never happened.
Yeah,
there is no boat. Ooh.
Oh, that would have been bad. That would have got that show cancelled. Oh damn.
Yeah, 100%. There would have been riots.
Can I just want
everyone except Cart Titan.
Yeah, Pete was just like,
I don't think he's ever met her. To be fair.
I don't think she. But I must admit, I want to do a shout because everyone that survived, everyone was so fucking Jean, whatever you want to pronounce it. Jean,
Connie,
and Connie.
I was going to say Jean's my MVP. To be fair,
really,
he is a good character, man.
He survived. He stuck with it. He's
so well.
He blew up Eren's head, or Eren's neck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
And still that moment of regret when he grabs the plunger and is like, you son of a bitch, Mike. And he's like, oh, I got to do it. And then he explodes. And I was like, John, don't speak. Just do it. You're going to do it. Just do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, John is sick when Gina's sick.
Oh, man. But Peaks,
yeah,
the Cart Titan's power really shows where she's just like getting bitten in,
keep ejects,
retransforming, bites down, ejects. And I was like, oh shit, she can do this. And I love it when she was like,
I can do this all day.
No, but she was like, I can do this hundreds of times. But that makes that doesn't help me if I've got thousands to fight. And I was like, oh shit, yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, everybody really, especially like Reiner as well. I think he really comes into it after being sort of dicked on for like seasons.
Yeah,
but he really like has his redemption moments.
He is
unpopular opinion. I think Reiner should have died. I think he should have. I think he should have parted in this last episode. I think it really would have paid off more for his character because it's all been tragic. His whole story, is so bad. Like it's so sad.
True.
It's like
I wouldn't have been mad at that.
Yeah, I think he should have gone out of martyr.
Yeah, I think that would have left that bittersweetness there. But I do appreciate in the moment, and I think it kind of leans into his redemption a little bit more. Is that moment when I was saying where. Is it Gene that grabs Reiner when he's dropping? And he grabs him and he's hanging. Yeah, and Connie's grabbing Levi. And Gene just makes that small comment. And Gene's like, yeah, man, you know what our scout regiment's like, man. We don't fucking quit no matter what. And he's like, oh shit, like you accept me.
Yeah.
Like I know and they still see him still as part of that. They were that same class.
That was nice.
Like, that's a touch, man. That was such a nice moment.
That is a really good moment.
Is there any
killed dangling there for so long?
Is there any significance between like because when Armin turns into Colossal Titan and explodes Eren, at the same time it shows Historia giving birth. Is there any significance there?
I don't know if that was her giving birth. Was it her or was it
just a random?
Was it just a random giving birth?
Yeah. I forgot about that random labour scene. There was just a random woman having a child. And I said to Jade, I was like, wow, it's a really bad time to be in labour, isn't it? At the end of the world.
It's true.
I didn't even think if it was a flashback or something. I thought it was just showing the public.
Oh. Maybe.
Why,
just a random blunder, maybe.
That was a weird choice.
I thought it was Historia for some reason.
That would make more sense. She did have a child.
I'm trying to get to that point in the anime to see what the cutscene says.
It could only have been Historia if it was a main character, right? Because there was no one else.
Give him birth.
No, I think.
Then at the same time, it's also.
I think you guys might be right because Historia was pregnant throughout these scenes, and then at the end she's shown with the baby.
Yeah, and the baby's still young, like a few years old at best. So it could have been.
Yeah, it could have been.
It's a very. It's true.
But again, like nobody died. Usually, when they do these kinds of things, it's like somebody dies and somebody's born, but it wasn't really that going on. So I just wondered if there was any kind of.
Eren died.
He was still up and going. I mean, he got back up again. Yeah, because he exploded.
Oh, you saw it at that point. Yeah,
that explosion.
Right,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's strange.
Yeah, no one died.
Didn't make sense to me.
I thought they were gonna die when the squid alien thing turned them all into Titans.
Yeah,
with the smoke thing.
Oh, the gas scene.
I was like, "What? You're not gonna do Gene and Connie like that? Just after all that, just turn them into a Titan? Don't do it like that." I'm so glad that they didn't. I'm so glad that they didn't.
Well, they did.
But not permanently.
They turned. No, the permanently. They turned back after. Yeah. But that was a little scare. That was a little scare.
I did just check it, and it was Historia giving birth. I looked at the visual as well. It's so quick, but it is her. It's meant to just kind of flash to her, and obviously she's royal blood, and it really does concern her a lot, even though she's not really physically involved in the.
Present. So the fact that her bloodline continue doesn't. Oh no, because the king Fritz thing's out the window, so royal bloodline
That's
doesn't really
it now.
matter anymore, right?
No, none of it matters.
So
it's
yeah,
gone
it
back
wouldn't matter if
to
it was
zero.
like a descendant who found the tree. That's what I was thinking.
But yeah, touching on that bit was like a small respite, and I must admit it was a nice and horrible moment where everyone's reconnecting with their mums and dads, and oh my god, and then that smoke bit happens, and Levi's like, "Peak, get on top. We need to go now." And she's like, "No, this is enough. I'm hitting my breaking point." And it's like, "No, we've still got something to fucking do." And it's like they have to re-pick themselves up again, and that moment felt heavier. I don't know why than almost any of the other stuff, because it was that moment where you just stop and then it's like, well, continue running 110 miles an hour again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy, yeah,
it was a bit mad.
Poor Peak, man. She literally hit her peak. She'd had enough. Knowing that everyone that you know and love is literally about to just turn, and it's like, we are in the middle of saving the world. You can't give a shit. You need to just keep going. Oh yeah, I'm glad that they had that moment for her to be like, this is too much, because it actually then made you sit there as the audience and go, yeah, this is a fucking lot. This is a lot, Peak. You've gone through some shit, man.
What did you guys think of like Eren's messages? We spoke a little bit about Armin's one, and I must admit I was a bit shocked, because I remember Charlie in the last pod being like, most of the world is gone, and I was like, nah, man, you haven't really seen that much. And it's like, no, 80% of the world's population is gone. Like, firstly, that fact alone, I don't know about you guys, it really did shock me. I was like, oh, whoa, like I have not taken the how enormous this rumbling thing is.
Yeah,
I know we've touched on that, but what did you guys think of Mikasa's message and her thing? Where did your mind go to when all of a sudden it snapped to this version? And you're almost trying to interpret this moment or this scene.
Eren and Mikasa's
but when they cut away to the cabin,
and he's like
4 years. Eren's last 4 years. You're talking about?
Yeah, Mick, and Eren's like kind of almost like it felt like almost like an alternative timeline where he's like, you declared your love for me and we ran away and I've decided not to do the rumbling. Like, and I was like, what the hell is happening in this moment?
Yeah. I'm guessing that was Ymir showing her that, because Ymir's the reason that she kept having headaches all this time, like that we've been seeing Mikasa have headaches. It's always been because of Ymir.
Yeah, but that's only because she was peeking into her mind, and that's where Eren
to see, because she reflected
wanted to see where she's at, because the reason Mikasa sets Ymir free inadvertently is because she recognized that kindred spirit of, you were in love with someone, but there's a sort of toxicity to it. And you chose to love this person, but also let them go and kill them. That's why when Mikasa and Ymir is looking at each other, Ymir has that flash of like, oh no, I saved the king for the sake of human connection and Stockholm syndrome, if you want to call it that. But I had my children, and that was my real connection. I should have let him die. And kind of that resolution within herself of, yeah, you're right. If you can do it, I can do it. Yeah, there was a bit of that closure, but with the bit of Eren, he was using the paths and the founder's power to create scenarios to communicate to people in a comfortable, safe environment. It wasn't meant to be an alternative timeline, but it's also meant to apparently show that Eren knew that even if he would have ran away with her, the Marlians were eventually going to come and still create a catastrophe and a genocide.
So now that I'm thinking about it, because I didn't really like the whole thing where Mikasa was like Eren's biggest fan and couldn't do anything against him. Like, that didn't really sit well with me. But now that you're mentioning that scene and where Eren is like, okay, like when I'm dead, I want you to throw away my scarf and move on and blah, blah, blah. I know that she comes out of that and she says, I'm not going to, but then in the end she kind of does anyway. I guess that's like her, because it's her whole Ackerman thing, right? Like, she kind of like imprints on him, I guess. But
no, that doesn't. That's not
exist. It's not real.
That was bullshit.
Yeah,
he lied to her about that. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the Ackerman, because
it is literally all
Levi
Ymir.
never went through headaches or anything.
It was just Ymir.
And
it's all Ymir. Yeah, she was in Mikasa's head the entire time, basically. Just not the entire time. Every time she had headaches, she was like looking in and just being like, "Is she still in love with him?" Like, yeah, she is. Wow, she's just like me.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
That's why
so that's that makes sense then for her, like going against that and kind of like showing Ymir the way. Yeah.
Because that's Eren was always trying to convince Mikasa of like, you don't really love me. You just like, I saved you and you're love with the idea of me. And it's the trauma enforcing that feeling. But Mikasa comes out of that trance or that image with him. And that's why she disagrees to forget him and let go of the scarf, but still does what she has to do because she finally realizes, no, I do love you. It's not about the trauma or this Ackerman bullshit. I understand this now. I do have these feelings for you genuinely as a person, but I still need to make this choice. And that's where Ymir really follows her. It's like, oh shit,
I think I'm like
you feel this love.
I'm like 60% on board with that. Like, I feel like it maybe they could have made it work where she came to that conclusion sooner, because she does spend a lot of that fight kind of stuck in her feelings about what she should do when it comes to Eren.
I think it will kind of
holds her back a bit.
But I think when Mikasa realizes that she has the strength to do it, which is what I think Ymir always lacked with King Fritz.
100%.
And I think her peeking into Mikasa and seeing that even though she knows Mikasa still has feelings for Eren, she still loves Eren, but she's gonna do what she needs to do, and which means killing him and letting him go in a sense. I think that was the strength that Ymir always wanted or craved, but never had.
But didn't know existed.
Power to execute. Yes, which is what I think. She chose Mikasa to break that, because knowing Mikasa had always had that strength behind her.
Yeah,
I think maybe that's
cycle. I mean, come on, guys. She chopped his head off and kissed him, and it didn't freak me out. I was like, I get it. I kind of weirdly get it. I get it a little bit.
And he just had the ghost of Ymir in the background smiling, like,
just watching them like a weird.
Nice. I've always wanted to see this kind of stuff.
You call that a kiss? Do it again.
Get your
tits out.
Even at that last moment, that when Levi blew the teeth off the Titan and Mikasa went flying in, I was still waiting for something to stop Eren, to stop Mikasa from doing something. I was waiting for another roadblock or another big fight to happen, but he was just like, "No, you've done it. Take me." And
you could have just swallowed.
Let it happen.
That would have.
No, but I didn't clock this, because when she kind of wakes up out of her trance, she's like, "He's in the mouth." I was like, "How are you so sure?" But apparently, Eren whispers it to her in their conversation, like, "This is my location. Come find me." I didn't really clock that. Again, breakdown stuff. But apparently,
he just leans in and says, "I'm in the mouth." He's like, "What?"
Pushes him away.
All right, let's go.
What the fuck?
That is a bit odd.
I'm in the mouth. Oh shit.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, it's all of that adding up makes sense, and I'm on board with that. But I think the whole kind of that indecisiveness up until that point, I think that kind of hurts Mikasa's character a bit. But by the end of it, it all works.
I'd be honest with you, the feeling that I got left with after watching this show is I need to watch it all again. Because I think the thing that breaks it up is it's a cycle, right? There's a cycle. Even Eren waking up under the tree from like episode 1 is a reflection of everything that's to happen, and is being communicated by other things, and future Eren is, it's just kind of triggering shit along the way. But I think we forget that the timing of things are different as well. Like, if we watch the last season back to back right now, we're going to understand maybe Mikasa's emotional journey a bit more, because there's no gap. There's no year between these episodes.
So long.
It's for her, it's been like 2 days or 3 days that they've like had to kill their own people, kill their best friends, get a boat, get a plane. The rumbling started, and it's like, well, in 3 days, would you really be able to figure out if you've even had the time to stop and think about it? That's how I saw it, because I'm thinking on their timeline, not on mine.
Yeah. No, that's
Fraser. I'm
fair.
bad.
Definitely does deserve.
That's what I was waiting for. Don't talk shit about that woman.
Mikasa is a saint, okay?
No, she was pretty much MVP of the whole show. Like, and at the end, like, not only was she like just OP in every battle as well, like she was literally like Levi, but yeah, she was probably the MVP.
She was the female Levi with just a bit more backstory. If Levi had a bit more backstory and emotional
and a scarf.
And a scarf.
And definitely more protagonist.
Like, I'm wearing a red scarf right now, man. You don't understand. I haven't taken it off since I watched the episode.
Since Ellen died.
Comic-Con cosplay already. Nice.
I would happily go as Picasso.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong though. It definitely does deserve like a full rewatch from episode 1, season 1, all the way up to the last one in one big long sesh, just to grasp everything all over again. It definitely deserves it.
Epic.
Do you remember when we rewatched the first couple of seasons and we're like, oh, we know Rhino and Berthold's like, the Colossal and Armor Titan, and you kind of watch it with a different eye. Now knowing this, it's not even like taking 2 steps back. It's like taking 10 steps back and looking at everything and be like, what's the prophecy? Who's triggered it? Like, I'm trying to connect this dot of this massive canopy and I'm like, oh my God, it's not going to be as traumatic, but whoa.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing with this show. Its rewatchability is so high because every time you pick up on a new layer, and there's so many like little trinkets here and there that actually mean such massive things, which you never would have predicted the first time watching, and it just gives you that, oh my God, I can't believe I missed this, but now I know it. Like, every time they mention the Armored Titan in season 1, it literally cuts to Rhino. Every time they mention the Colossal Titan, it literally cuts straight to Berthold. It does not hold back. It is literally showing you, but it's like, how the fuck would you have ever guessed that back then? The basement, like the basement delivered. It actually gave you everything you needed to fucking know about where this show was and what was going on, and the world and the war and the politics.
Guys, even the first introduction of the first episode, you know when they'll do the page where it kind of says like episode 1 and it gives the name.
Yeah.
Right? Even that map, if you actually looked at the picture itself behind it, shows Paradis, shows the sea, and then it shows more land and islands and people on the other side. Like, it shows you that they're not the only humans alive. It even shows you from the first title screen that there's something more, but it pulls your attention in just the right ways that you need to rewatch it.
Yeah. And it tells the story from someone from Paradis who believes that all of humanity was wiped out to that point, and so it's showing you a montage of the whole world but being wiped out. So it like even it does show you the world. It shows you literally everyone, but it is showing you from the perspective of humanity was all dying. So and the first time you're watching it, you just believe this person who is telling you this, but you don't know who it's coming from or what it means, and you just take it as it is. Rewatchability on this show is top tier. And honestly, watching breakdowns, like I'm happy to admit I'm a massive film and TV buff, but watching breakdowns, it gives you things that you wouldn't see unless you stop it frame by frame. These guys pick up on amazing things that really just enlighten the whole experience. And Attack on Titan is one of my favorite shows to do that with.
Might have to do that. Might have to binge. Might have to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I still cannot explain. I still explain this to Tanya because bless her, the only 2 shows she's seen me really watch is Attack on Titan, Last of Us. And I'm literally like to her, like, okay, you're gonna go out or go gym. I'm gonna watch something traumatic. And it was an 1.5-hour episode, right? And because it broke it into segments, it kind of helped. So I watched the first 2 segments, and then chapter 3 when they start off with
pause, have a cry, start again.
It kind of felt like that. Where Armin Eden's in the kid mode, she happened to come home, so I paused it, and I just naturally got up and just hugged her, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "You watching your traumatic show?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why do you watch it?" And I was like, "I can't explain how good it is, but how much I have to give of myself." And then I carried on watching it anyway. But if you had to put into words why you watch this show, how would you explain to someone? Because what am I going to say? It's got cool fight scenes and great lore. Like, how do you justify the heart-wrenching trauma that is this show to someone?
The tag that I use, because I've promoted this show to many people, I always say it's the best written show I've ever watched. And I stand by it because it's ended now. I said it in the last podcast and you were like, but how can you say that? It hasn't even ended? And I was like, oh, okay, fair point. It's ended. It ticked all the boxes in the end. It tied up every loose end that I had. Probably more that I'm going to find later. And I always promote it with the writing. The writing is and the animation is sick. Yeah.
I think you got to take that route. I think there's just so many different factors, from suspense to character interaction to lore and backstory. It's just too much to try and put it in a box. You just got to say the writing's just brilliant, I think.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, we're just taking a moment here to let you know some more details about the podcast and the direction we're going. We wanted to let you know that we now have a Gmail account where we would love to hear from you, connect to you, and get to know you all just a little bit better. So if you have any questions or comments that you might have, please don't hesitate and get in contact with us at rjopoddy@gmail.com. That's rjopoddy@gmail.com.
That's right, Rikesh. Another way to get closer to the poddy is our amazing but highly under-advertised Instagram page, where you can find a collection of our funny and silly ads with visuals for your entertainment, as well as updates on the poddy through our Instagram story, and where naturally you can also message us there as well. Find us at RJOPodcast on Instagram, and we hope you enjoy.
Lastly, we are having plans of developing the podcast, extending outside of our hobbies and getting closer to our own individual passions. For me, being a trained therapist, my passion as well as profession is to help people, connect to people, and share any tools and techniques that may be helpful to yourselves. And so, to bring the podcast and therapy world that little bit closer, I'm planning on creating an additional Agony Uncle style podcast to the Red Jackson family, where you can send us any mild to moderate issues and challenges you or someone you know may need any advice or guidance on, where myself, as well as the boys and any special guests, can help and advise you and delve deeper into the therapy world. So please message us on RJOPoddy@gmail.com as mentioned above, and let's begin. If, however, you find yourself or someone you know in need of more specific, dedicated, one-to-one long-term help, then please contact me directly at Serhan Avci therapy@gmail.com. That is SERHAN for November, AVCI therapy@gmail.com, or find me on the counselling directory under Serhan Avci as mentioned. I hope to help, I hope to guide, and I hope to empower you all.
Please find all the relevant details in the description below. I hope you enjoyed and possibly found a new way to get involved and for all of us to connect further. And now we've taken enough of your time. Back to this amazing episode of Red Jackson.
Is it too soon? Are we still in the last episode moment, or can I talk about the whole show, like the whole thing now?
We've been talking about the whole show.
No, I know, but I want to ask. I don't want to pull focus from the last episode because we're having those moments. But I want to kind of be like the obvious questions of like, what would you guys say is your most enjoyed or most reminiscent fight scene that you've seen, and what's the most enjoyable like politics revelation throughout the whole show? Because they're two very heavy areas of the show.
Political revelation, like when you said it before,
like something that is revealed to you, or like, you know, especially Attack on Titan is quite intricate, and they're like, right, we're going to do this and this, but what we actually are going to do is this and this. You're like, oh, that's fucking clever. Like, I didn't see that happening. So it doesn't have to be just a revelation, just the you know, the exposition,
a twist or switch around.
Yeah, because season one was very action heavy. The second season was very information heavy, and they were both enjoyable for different reasons. I just wonder curiously.
I think we covered this last time. I even to this day, I still think the biggest shock that I've had watching this show was Reiner admitting that he and Bertolt were the Colossal and Armor Titans.
Yeah,
and they
definitely.
Just off the cuff.
It's still the first thing that comes to my mind. Like, what is the biggest shock thing that you've seen from information wise? That was it. Because I remember when that happened, and I was like, they did not wait. What was that mistake? Did I watch it get a dodgy copy of the subtitles? Is someone fucking with me? They did not just say that. That still
the exact same
blows
thing.
My mind. Honestly,
what a way to do it! It was so awesome though. Like, because then it went all action afterwards. But like, yeah, it was just fucking such a sick way to drop it.
It was mad.
Because it is casual for these guys. Like, you know, they're done with it. They're like, fuck this, I can't be bothered. Aaron, please, this is what's happened. Come with us.
Go home. It's been so long for them. It's like when the breaking point was definitely coming up for them. That was it. Like,
yeah.
He's here. Let's just tell him now. Maybe he'll want to come with us.
Yeah.
Or every other plan has failed. Fuck it, let's just try asking him. Let's see what he says. If he says no, we start it up again. Fuck it, well, why not?
Yeah.
That was still.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was a moment that you don't see in very often in any other show, where it's just like, just go for it.
A few
Cards
words
on the table. There you
just
go.
changed everything.
Yeah,
just so much.
I think for me, it's kind of linked to that, because there's that point where they look back and they see, oh yeah, I think you were talking about it before, actually, Serhan, when female Titan grabs Reiner, and then it looks like he's been crushed, but then he gets out, and then she obviously runs away after Eren, and Armin's kind of putting two and two together, and it's kind of like, well, why did she just then run off in that direction? Is because Reiner left a message on her hand, right?
Yeah,
to tell her
where Eren
is, and it's just that all of that just coming together and being brought out in the open. That's my revelation point.
Smart as well,
yeah, that's a good one. I think mine is Erwin's army versus the Beast Titan. That whole thing was fucking insane, and it went to what's it like, Armin getting the Colossal, and that whole thing, like Armin sacrificing himself, like getting burnt up and shit. Yeah, I mean that was all like right after that battle of Erwin and that. Yeah, just people riding into battle and dying with this massive fucking monkey at the end throwing rocks at you. It was just an insane. Yeah, and it was so relevant to the whole story. Yeah,
sits with
that's
Levi
the one that stands out
forever
when you
as
said
well.
political reference.
And
yeah, Levi. Yeah.
Yeah, Levi. And what was that? What was that surviving guy that becomes the Eren-ist, Eren
Jägerist? Flock,
the one that survives. It really shapes him and where the Jägerists kind of come from as well.
He broke, mate. He was the only survivor, and he just didn't even understand why. Like, he was just like, how am I alive? How the hell has this happened? He drags Erwin all the way back, and he's like, come on, put the Colossal in him. And they're like, no, we're going to do Armin. It was his breaking point, mate. He was like, "What? Why am I alive?"
I think that was quite a satisfying moment to touch on. That Levi does kind of give that audience answer, but his own thought of like, Erwin, I know I could have brought you back, but you know what? I actually have no regrets of bringing Armin back, because he's like you, but with that light in his eyes, that 2.0. It's just a little thing that we added on, but a lot of people were like, with two arms,
no skin, 2 arms.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell, that. Oh, poor Armin. And that is when Levi first attacks the Beast as well, isn't it? Because they're a distraction. Because he goes around the back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So that's that whole Beast scene as well.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch that episode, man. That fucking thing is awesome.
I think I've watched that a few times. Yeah. Fight as well. Eren versus Annie was pretty good.
Oh, season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, in the forest when she actually fucks
in the town.
Or do you mean in the town?
In the town, yeah. The final,
fucking her up is almost like squashing her brain, literally.
Yeah.
But she's trying to climb off the walls. Yeah, that was quite intense. You know what? I honestly love the Titan fights, but I still think the human ones are much more like, when they're doing humans versus Titans. That's one thing, but when they were doing like, when the scout regiment, their group first kind of goes, not rogue, where they've almost like been told they're traitors and, they're not part of the state anymore, and they have to do other people, like Kenny's people are after them. That human to human fight and that whole lead up on that, what's the word, in that season where they got to kill their own friends. I think that was one of the most fucked up things for me. It was intense. It was awesome to watch, but it was just like, I'm about to kill you. And it's like, oh, man, like, come on, bro. We know each other. And it's like, okay, I'm going to kill you anyway. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That was
like growing up and trained.
And they saw them as traitors and shit. Oh, yeah. But there's no time to explain. There's no time to explain the whole thing. Fucking hell. Look how long it's taken us 2 podcasts.
No. Oh, man. I did like Armin's natural exposition. I like the exposition of the show. They never spoke down to you. You still had to have still had to kind of keep up. And believe me, there was even moments in this episode where like Zeke and Armin were talking. Honestly, I stopped and rewinded 3 times and paused it on the subtitles so I could conceptualize what they were saying. If I lose the thread, I'm going to lose the point of this scene. And people like Armin, Hanji, their way they would explain it to others, but for also their own bet, it really does inform you. It doesn't talk down to you. And I really enjoyed that side of the politics. Like Armin's plan with the female Titan initially to kind of draw her out. And it was him initially saying, no, I think the female Titan is actually someone within our ranks. There's a traitor somewhere. Like those little things. Oh, like I loved it when it first introduced that sort of like 360 of like, oh shit, like this guy is so smart. But the plan is so smart. It's complicated, but I get it.
Yeah, and it's mad to think that most of season 1 was not even most of season 1, because first half of season 1 you're just terrified of these massive titans, have no idea what's going on. But the second half is all like, you know, who is the Titan? Who is that Titan? And then, then after that, it's just like everyone's don't give a shit. They all know who the Titans are.
I will say that when Rickish
Yeah.
was saying about Reiner and Bertold saying about the thing on was like the biggest sort of shock twister for me. I still agree with it, but I think for me the first initial one was definitely Eren getting eaten. That moment as a what you and I mentioned this before, kind of thinking, who is this show about? What is happening? What am I watching? I'm just watching carnage for the sake of it. And then that sort of Titan coming. Oh, that moment for me was just I didn't know what to think.
I think that's the moment that gets everybody to keep watching.
Yeah, I agree. That's it.
Every other moment.
They're keeping up with it. They're kind of like, okay, so it's about Eren. He's going to do this and that. Oh, he's a billion.
Yeah.
And then
who is this new Titan? Who is it? It kind of looks a bit like Eren. Oh wait, it is Eren. Oh shit, really? They have a Titan on their side now. Sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually showed my eldest sister Vicky this show. She's never watched anime or anything. She's not big into like big animated things unless they're like Disney and stuff. But I was like, the writing's amazing. You know, I promoted it the way I said, and she was like, okay, I'll check it out. She binge watched all 3 seasons at the time because there weren't a full season out yet. She binged all 3 seasons within a month. She just blitzed them and she was obsessed. She loved it. It is just because it's a really fucking good story.
Is she up to date?
You just don't expect anything. I think she's watched most of season 4. I don't know if she's watched maybe the last 2 episodes or maybe the last one. I'll drop her a message after this and see if she has.
She gets a very different experience. Very different experience to us. She's going to notice things like when we were going to do the last poddy and I had to catch up, I caught up on watching season 1 and 2, and then I didn't watch season 3 at the time. So I got to rewatch those first couple of seasons and then brand new. Watching it all back to back, it does connect in your head in a different way. You start to see things differently than just once every however many months. And I didn't even realize that it's taken 10 years for this to come to an end, man.
4 seasons, that's it.
No way.
10 years.
And it's never lost
a lot of hard work.
It's never lost my interest.
No, it's kept its fan base. It's kept us waiting patiently.
This is one of the fewest shows in this generation this year that I was immediately looking at a box set. I'm like, I would love to have this as a hard copy in my house.
Yeah, 100%. Now it's all done.
Blu-ray.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blu-ray, definitely.
Awesome, for sure. So yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you've been spoiled, but you haven't watched it yet,
spoiler alert!
Spoilers!
Definitely would recommend watching Attack on Titan. Now it's ended.
Yes, good watch. Loads of surprises. All right, let's end this. Rank out of 10, guys. Now that you've got a finale, now that you know how the whole story goes, what's your ranking?
As you guys think of a ranking, can I give you a little an anecdote, a little trivia that I found out shortly after our last podcast that I forgot to mention, and it's kind of terrifying.
Oh, Titan juice.
There's 2 different. Between Bertold's Colossal Titan and Armin's Colossal Titan, there's one significant difference. Bertold, or should I say Armin, has not got any ears as the Colossal Titan.
Oh, because he don't want to hear the screams. Oh,
he doesn't want to hear. Yeah, he doesn't want to hear the screams of what he can do.
Right. Yeah.
That's terrifying. Doesn't he have blonde hair as well?
No, he's bald.
No, he's got no hair. He's got no.
Oh,
hair.
he's bald. Yeah. So of course he is. Yeah, that would be funny.
I would love that if the Colossal Titan came out with this like Pantene blonde hair, like Naruto hair.
I bet they've tried that design and they just thought no, it's
with hair.
That's dumb.
Like no, it doesn't work.
Trump.
It doesn't work.
Hair blowing in the wind.
That's a terrifying detail that I hadn't even realized.
Yeah, that is deep.
That's
actually
this is Attack on Titan. If we didn't go to trauma,
because Armin does say as well. He does say he didn't want that power because of what the destruction that the Colossal Titan can do.
Yeah, just by
I remember him saying
man.
that.
Like, imagine having the power to turn, but it's like my turning process is the big bang.
Mm.
I don't get to turn and help like a big human or a Titan. I have to just turn and know that I'm going to fuck everything up. Yeah, it's a nuke. I'm the last option.
Yeah, it was smart of them to capture him quick. Anyway, yeah, ranks out of 10 because I need to eat dinner.
I don't have to think about it, man. I don't have to think about it.
Go on.
It's 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
It's 10 out of 10.
Ooh,
Action,
10 out of 10.
Politics, law. I understand for some people why it might be lower. I do genuinely get that the ending might be a little bit unsatisfactory. But as a person, like I got so tearful. I got so emotional. I got so understanding. I got deep into the psychology of it. And I was like, this for me is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It gets a 9 out of 10 from me.
Oh, what's the drop the point on?
It's got it all there.
Get out, Fraser. Get out.
There are some aspects of the ending that I think could have been improved upon, but I'm not unhappy with it.
That's fair.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, I was gonna say 8.5 for me out of 10 total. 8.5 out of 10. But before you all start fucking judging and sending death threats,
Serhan just disappeared.
He's coming to your house.
Can't be back. You've muted the mic and everything. No, 8.5. I think I need to rewatch
fucking
the
kidding
whole
me,
thing.
you fucking
Yeah, no, I need to rewatch it again properly, and it might change. But 8.5.
Definitely.
It's okay. I'm just grabbing something.
The ending was a little bit like, and a few things didn't really add up the way I wanted it to. But I'll rewatch it, and then if it changes, then it changes. But at the moment, I'm 8.5, but solid 8.5.
If it changes, comment on the video, comment on the podcast, and tell us what it is.
Yeah, do it. You'll be the only comment.
It's gonna go down to like 5 out of 10.
No, see, I think
rewatched it, guys. 0. It's trash.
I think a breakdown will inform you more of your decision, and it will make you either improve your
100%, 100%,
or it might stay the same. But I still think for all of us, a rewatch is needed. Like, it needs to be rewatched like a massive film. Agreed. And that's I can I say 11 out of 10 after I rewatch it? Can I bump it up higher?
Yeah, that's legal.
All right, cool. That's
accepted.
legal. All right.
I'll allow it.
What was yours, Charlie?
What, my ranking?
10.
It's a 10.
It's a 10.
It was a 10. As I said, it was a 10 before, and then I'd backtracked. Was like 9 until it ends.
Okay.
An ending is the most important thing. And I'll be honest, there were moments that I thought, I think they could have done that a bit cooler. I think they could have done that a bit better. But then I think, no, because then it would have just been flashy for sake of being flashy. It needed to be grounded in points. And I think I loved how it ended. Yeah. It was substance over spectacle, yeah.
2 animes that we've spoken about on here that we all have in common, experience it very dearly. What's our rankings between this and Naruto? Which one's higher for you guys? And I know we've just watched this, so this is fresh, but how would you rank them? Which one's 1 and which one's 2?
You can't rank. These are 2 completely different animes.
Listen, motherfucker. Okay, until you hit a 9, you don't get an opinion.
You can't compare them. You can't compare them. You can't.
That's a cop-out. You don't want to answer that question.
Attack on Titan.
I can answer the question. I prefer
Charlie's saying Attack on Titan.
Yeah, it's not by a lot, but probably for rewatchability. How many times you rewatched Naruto?
Never watched it once. That's
And you're going to rewatch
it again.
Yeah,
it's easier. It's easier for sure. Yeah,
that's it. And it didn't have the ending. I think the ending for Naruto was a lot more lackluster. Attack on Titan actually delivered some action-packed movie-style shit and substance. But yeah, Naruto, you know what I mean? Like Naruto
it is hard to compare because it's kind of like comparing an action movie to a spy thriller. It's it's anime. They're both animes, but they're different. They approach different genres and different.
Only the uneducated and the uncouth would be able to say you can compare Attack on Titan and Naruto. So, look at his face changed when he realized.
Do you know what? Hold on. I will say this. I will take it from Rikesh for one reason alone. He introduced me to both of these animes, especially Attack on Titan. So I have to give him space. You're a motherfucker.
He introduced you to Naruto? Didn't we all introduce you to Naruto?
He didn't introduce it to me. He wasn't like sit down and watch this. He would put on like fight scenes, like as we would on YouTube, and I got really interested.
That makes sense.
Caught up in his passion. Attack on Titan was like, sit down, we're gonna watch something, and then I watched episode 1, and it literally took me like 3 weeks to get to episode 2. Episode 1 for me still.
It was like 3 months.
Episode. Actually, not. I think it might have been. Man, honestly, episode 1 is the hardest for me. Episode 1 for me of Attack on Titan is like the first third of The Last of Us. To put in that disc and hit
your first anime that you watched as well, Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan's my first anime.
God damn.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
God damn.
Well, not like Pokemon, Dragon Ball, stuff like that. I guess
legit anime.
Yeah, legit anime.
Legit anime. That I knew it was anime. I didn't consider it as like cartoon.
Yeah, fair.
Or dubbed even. It was my first subbed anime.
See, I watched like 5 episodes in dub, and my god, it was hard to get through. And then when I rewatched it in sub, I was like, this is sick. Oh my god, why was it not the same? Eren in season 1 in dub. I don't want to shit on an actor, but my god, he was painfully annoying. The American accent coming out of that face and just being whiny, drove me nuts, mate. But when you hear the Japanese version, it's so real. It's like, it's not whiny, it's like raw. Like,
that's the sound you're supposed to make.
Yeah.
No, I respect that. I think the other animes like Full Metal, Naruto could like deal with dub, but I've watched certain scenes, and it was the scene where Eren gets eaten and Armin screams for his life, and watching that in dub, just a clip on YouTube, I was like, this is hurting my head. You might have even shown it to me, Charles. I was like, this is hurting my head, man.
Yeah.
Woo! What a ride, man. What a ride.
I'm glad I went to sub quick.
So we all watched this one. We all began this at 20 years old, and now we're basically 30, 31, hitting 32. Big changes in our lives, and we're still here talking about it.
Been a while.
I think, great show. Great show.
Great show. Round of applause for Attack on Titan, guys.
GG claps to everyone.
Round of applause.
GG claps to Attack on Titan. All of the jazz. All
Amazing
of us for surviving this.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, it paid off.
It did indeed. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm hoping you enjoyed our Attack on Titan breakdown, rant, rumble, whatever the hell it was, discussion. I have been Charlie.
I have been Rick.
I've been Fraser.
As always, I'm so traumatized and sad, but I'm Serhan. I am Serhan.
And we'll catch you guys next week.
See you later.
Oh.